Welcome to the Metaphysics Hour. I'm your host, Rory. Today I wanted to present to you 9 spiritual suggestions to do in a time of crisis. So right now it's the 28th of March, 2020. We're in a pandemic. I don't know if we're in the beginning, the middle, or the end. I know I'm quarantined along with every other Coloradoan, I think that's how you say it, because the governor has issued a stay-at-home order. I don't know if that's constitutional or not, but that's not going to be the purpose of this video. We're going to focus on spirit and not constitutionality or civil liberties. And I think the reason I'm going to make that choice is because if you can connect with the spirit within yourself, you actually have the liberty, regardless of what people do to you on the outside. They can't take away your spiritual liberty. So that's why I'm going to make that emphasis. All right, so first one is be spiritual. Okay. So what does that mean? It means experience yourself, as more than just your body. These bodies are finite things. These things are very fragile. You can't take them underneath the water. You can't take them too high in the sky. You can't drop them too far. You can't not feed it for a certain period of time. You can't not breathe it for a certain time. In other words, this body is a ticking time bomb. So don't put your security in your body. Don't put your whole identity in your body. Take care of it. Treat it as a temple. But realize that you go to the temple to worship, but you don't go to the temple to worship the temple. You go to worship the spirit that inhabits the temple. So that's 1. 2, be creative. This is a perfect opportunity for you, for me, for all of us to stop procrastinating on things that we like to do. AKA, I'm talking to you because this is something I like to do. You may want to pick up crochet. You may want to get to playing your ukulele. You may want to delve into podcasts and books that you haven't been able to get to. Whatever your passions or your hobbies are, start using this downtime, if you have any, to express them, to create them. If you're one of the essential people that are still working, I just thank you for helping us maintain some level of civilization. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, number 3, be loving. Oh, how perfect, a good segue. So in a crisis like this, which is pretty unprecedented in our history, this can give a person a stimulus, especially if they're a superficial thinker, and even if they're a deep thinker, a stimulus to examine who they are and their priorities. And hopefully, if you do make that examination, you'll recognize that life is short, life is fleeting, and that there is great value in expressing love, in giving love, in receiving love. So if you're feeling stressed, one of the simplest suggestions is to just give love. You know, there are people, animals maybe, if not people, or plants that you can give your love to. And if you can, embrace the love that comes through on the breeze, from the planet. Embrace it from the rays of the sunshine. There is love all around us. We just have to tune into it, kind of like a radio tuner on the FM dial. You just got to find that right station so you can tune into that frequency. Number 4, be optimistic. Optimism is great all the time. It's probably even better in times of a pandemic where fear, panic, and scarcity, and doubt and all sorts of negative things can kind of get you to contract. Optimism is a ray of sunshine in the dark. So be optimistic about this. Not completely disconnected from reality, but just be optimistic. Because on a deeper level, life is benevolent. And so therefore, optimism is just the belief that life is not purposeless suffering. Yes, physical life is going to be pain and suffering, but it's not purposeless. It's giving us an opportunity to come off of our perfect spiritual self and come down here and experience what it's like to be fragile and to feel isolated and to feel alone when our true nature is anything but isolated and alone. So be optimistic. Number 5, be cautious. In a thunderstorm, it's best not to grab the biggest piece of sheet metal you can find and then go run under the biggest tree you can find. Okay? For any fans of The Simpsons, you'll see the imagery that I was thinking of. We want to be cautious in this, so wash your hands. Do the things that doctors and people are suggesting. Social distance yourself. Just be cautious. Don't go about living life recklessly. That's true all the time, but especially true during a pandemic. Number 6, be calm. Be calm and carry on, right? It's not so much that calmness is the right thing, it's just a helpful thing. You know, we can get stressed out by all of these numbers, by the fear of what if one of our loved ones has contracted this virus and they can't fight it? What if the hospital runs out of ventilators and my loved one goes in or I go in? Just be calm. Be calm. If you are starting to get worked up and panic, just take a few deep breaths, focus on your surroundings, and realize that in this moment, you're okay. It's okay to just be here. Just be here. Be calm. Number 7, be reflective. Use this as an opportunity to examine your assumptions about life and the universe and the purpose of life. Use this as an opportunity to, ask yourself, well, what's it all for? If I can't go out to all these social gatherings and impress people, if I can't go out to all these social gatherings and distract myself, what's the purpose of life? So maybe you'll find, and this is, I guess part of my bias is that life doesn't have to be hedonistic. It doesn't have to be full of just sensations and pleasures and the search for pleasures. It's that ever-ending hunger, that hedonism that destroys our harmony with the planet, with each other, and with the universe at large. So if you can reflect basically to the point in which you realize your spirit and that you're connected with it all. And if you can do that, man, that's very exciting times. Any fans of the Matrix, you'll see that one. Okay, number 8, be kind. Yeah, no fist fights over toilet paper. No need, You can always wipe your ass with a hand. That's what we did for a long time. That's why people don't, in some countries, even shake with their left hand or don't use the left hand. They think it's an unclean hand because that's usually how we wiped. I'm not suggesting that, but I'm just saying that keep perspective and don't be a dick to somebody just because you're scared and afraid. Reflect on these other suggestions so that it's easy for you to be kind. And by being kind, you'll realize that sure, there might be an invisible virus that can kill us, but life doesn't have to be that scary. Because if people are sharing kindness, then that is kind of a counterweight to, the fragility of physical life. Because there's always viruses and bacteria and things like that can kill us. But we've done our work and we have different things that can help counteract some of those negatives. So our physical life, though short and fleeting, and we don't necessarily know when we're going to go, it can be more meaningful and enjoyable if we focus on less of the me attitude and more on the giving attitude. So be kind. And lastly, number 9, be truthful. A pandemic is not the only time to be truthful. It's always a good time to be truthful. But you'll find that by being truthful, you can cut through a lot of the BS. And in that, you can find and connect more authentically with people in your life and with the world around you. This is something that I hope and I wish that, perhaps more of the governments were doing, be truthful. But maybe because of all the fist fights with toilet paper, maybe they don't think we can handle it. So let's show them, whoever they are, and be truthful to one another. Be kind, be loving, be spiritual, be passionate. All these things I talked about. I love you very much. Stay safe, and I will talk to you soon.